Hi, my name is Josh, and I'm here rather excitingly in the Natural History Museum's mammals store with one of our scientists, Zach Williams. He's been talking a little bit about slow loris venom, so if you haven't seen that, then do please go check it out. And right now we're just going to, talk through a bit more about slow lorises, because they're quite amazing animals, right, Zach?
They are, yeah, they're very intriguing.
Yeah, cool. I guess probably the obvious place to start with, a slow loris. Why are they called slow lorises in the first place? Are they actually that slow?
Well, they are quite slow compared to other primates, but they are more intentionally slow. So they are usually slow to be quiet when they're moving around the trees to avoid predation. In terms of the name slow loris, this comes from being discovered by Europeans in the 1700s. And they were first known to, well, firstly, obviously, them appearing quite slow. They also were thought to have some resemblance to sloths as well. So hence, I guess, slow. And then the name loris, which is derived from a Dutch word, loris, which essentially means clown. And this is to do partly because of their depending on the species, their facial features, such as they have large eye spots on a relatively pale face, which can sort of mimic almost like a clown mask or something like that.
Oh wow, so they're kind of called the slow clowns.
Slow clowns.
That's quite sad. Poor little things, they don't deserve that. And you mentioned then sort of some different species look different to other ones. I mean, how many different species of slow loris are there and where do they live?
So there's at least 8 different species of slow lorises, and they're distributed across northeast India and like Bangladesh to more eastern countries and regions like the Philippines and Indonesia.
Oh wow, okay, so like quite a big range of environments, yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
That's right.
And obviously they're quite adorable to look at. I think they are very cute. But what is also, why are they so special? What's so interesting about them?
Well, one of the most interesting things about them and unique things about them is they are one of the only mammals that can utilize venom, or one of the only groups of mammals that can utilize venom. And on top of that as well, they're the only known species of primates that can do so. Wow. So this is quite a remarkable thing within the animal kingdom as a whole, but particularly with mammals, it's quite astounding.
So how are they producing that venom then? I mean, are they, like a snake, or how does it work?
Yeah, so they don't directly produce their venom in their mouth. So what they have is around their armpits, they have these things called brachial glands. And these glands secrete kind of like a oily substance. And what they do is they, when they feel threatened or they're up against like a predator or competition in general, then they can lick these glands and get the oil which mixes around in their saliva. And this kind of induces like a chemical reaction, which in turn produces the venom. And on top of that as well, they've also got, in their canines, they've also got these kind of like little grooves where the venom can kind of pool there as well to, I guess, save it for when it's needed.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So then when they bite, they basically do inject that venom into whatever they're biting with.
Yeah, and they've got really, really strong bites, so they can penetrate like bark and bone. So it's a potentially very, very dangerous dangerous animal if you get on the wrong side.
That's amazing.
Of
It doesn't quite look like it from the outset, does it?
Not at all.
They look quite cute and cuddly, but yeah, dangerous bite, absolutely. And what does this venom do when it's bitten? I mean, you get different types of snake venom. Like, how does this sort of fit in with?
So this venom's really interesting. It kind of induces necrosis, which is essentially tissue death. So this is what it does. It can leave really nasty, long-lasting marks or wounds on animals, and it essentially sort of decays the tissue. And in large doses, it can even like shut down organs and things like that. So it is quite a deadly bite, depending.
So it can be deadly. That's amazing. And I mean, I guess the next question is like what are they doing it for? Presumably, they're not hunting things, are they? I mean, what do they normally eat?
So it's interesting. The venom actually has quite a lot of different functions. So, and it depends on the males and females as well, for the most part. As in, I guess collectively, they can use the venom for as like a predator deterrent. But in males, research suggests that it is used a lot in sexual selection, so competing for mates. There's evidence of a lot of slow lorises that have been bitten on numerous places in the body, including like their head, where it's quite obvious because the tissue sort of like around them is like really essentially rotted. In terms of females, they are really, really territorial, and they can use this venom to as kind of like a resource competition, as well as protecting their young. So it comes in handy for both sexes, which is awesome.
That's really cool. I didn't realise like the different sexes were using it for slightly different things as well.
Yeah.
It's quite fun, isn't it? And I guess finally, I was just going to ask you, do you have any other favourite fun facts about slow lorises?
Yeah, there's a few. So depending on the species, so you get the Javan slow loris and you get the Bengal slow loris. And they've actually got very interesting eye spots that sort of go up to the top of the head and the top of the shoulders. And this is very interesting because it resembles the back markings on spectacled cobras. So what scientists assume is that, particularly when they're in the trees and they've kind of got like their back facing predators, or like the top of their heads facing predators, to sort of mimic a cobra, to sort of an additional deterrent for them, which is quite astounding.
Yeah, no way, that's really cool. So they not only look like the cobras, but they're also venomous as well. So
Exactly,
it's
yeah. So.
That's really cool. Wow, well thank you so much. I think I've learned so much about slow lorises. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, thank you, my pleasure.
Wow, slow lorises really are such surprising animals. Do let us know in the comments below what your favourite fact was. And if you liked what you saw, then please do like and subscribe to get more natural history content.